All right, so this is our first module 2, lesson 1. So we are changing our fraction division problems into multiplication. So right here it says equivalent multiplication expression. So if you remember, we have our little saying of CPR, standing for copy, poof, and reciprocate. Reciprocate meaning the reverse. So remember, copy, I first start by saying the exact same thing. So I would start out by 1/4. Poof, we're changing that to multiplication. And reciprocate, remember we flip it around. So here, 2, I can put 2 over 1, that 2 coming from right there. And I reciprocate, so I flip it. So that is going to become 1/2. So now I can make a nice easy multiplication problem. 1 times 1 equals 1. Oops. And 4 times 2 equals 8. It then says find the quotient in its simplest form. Well, guess what? I already did that. So there's my equivalent multiplication problem. And so this is all equivalent to that quotient problem, 1/4 divided by 2. So right now I'm all done with that. My last part says I need to use a model. So what I'm going to do is I start out with 1/4. So here I have 1 whole, and I'm breaking up into fourths. So let's pick a different color for this one. So there's my 1/4, my 1 part out of 4. And it says I am dividing it by 2. So I am breaking up into 2. So I'm going to take this one row, remember I always take a row, and I see I have 1 part shaded, that 1 part shaded being right here, and my total is my denominator. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces, 1/8, and you'll notice that matches. Alright, let's head down to this bottom one. So here I have 2/3. I need to start with an equivalent multiplication expression. So 2/3 times my reciprocal, 1/6. Then find the quotient in its simplest form. So remember, this is the exact same thing as my quotient, my division problem. We proved this in class that they're the same. So now let's use this multiplication sentence to figure it out. 2 times 1 equals 2. 2 times 1 over my denominator is multiplied. 3 times 6 is 18. It does say in simplest form, so I need to figure out what can I divide 2 by and 18 by. Well, I can divide it by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So 1/9. Now I need to make that model since it says use a model. So I'm going to start with my tape diagram. And it tells me I start out with 2/3. So there is my 2/3. And I have 2 of those. And how many pieces am I breaking it up into? Well, I need to break it up into 6. So that would be 1 row, 2, 3, 4. I'm running out of space, so here's 5. And now I have those 6 rows. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. So I'm going to take one entire row, and I see there are 2 parts shaded, and there are 1, 2, 3 rows times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as an array, that means there are 18 boxes. 2 18ths, and I just showed that that will reduce to 1/9. All right, good luck on your homework.